Switch Radio Sport. This is Switch.
Worcester City win that game and they will be in Division 1 Midlands next season.
Chance in ball comes to Cheyenne Jarvis, got a chance in the penalty, he gets shot in and he goes to the back of the net, and Cheyenne Jarvis gets the second goal for Leaford Athletic this afternoon, found space in the 6-yard box.
Back to the edge of the penalty area with the pass, cross in towards the back post, headed goalwards and in!
That's a great shot from De Castro! Oh, what a save for Gray! And the red kid 2-0!
Stourbridge have won the Division 1 Midlands title.
The Women's Football Chat on Switch Radio.
Good evening, welcome along to this week's Women's Football Chat. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every week bringing you the very latest from the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England and Wales. That is the FA Women's National League. And the off-season continues, although plenty of sides have started to announce their pre-season games. So we're not that far away from football now. This week, not a huge amount to go through, but what we have got to go through is significant. Now, coming up later on in the show is the first round draw of the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout 2025. We're down to 64 sides now, and they are all coming out of the hat in this round. So you've got that to look forward to. But before we get to that, we're going to have a look at the news, and it is significant. First of all, it has come out this week that the Women's Super League, the top tier of women's football in this country, is to expand to 14 sides for the 26-27 season. Now, that has an implication on Tier 3, which is why I'm bringing it up on this show. So, in the Championship, they're doing additional promotion in order to get from 12 to 14. But they want to keep the relegation. Now, because they want to keep WSL2, I keep calling it the Championship, that's out of habit. Because they want WSL2 to stay at 12 for the time being, if you're losing more up at the top, you've got to supplement from down below. And that is what they're doing at the end of this season, supposedly. It is down to the FA how they want to do this, but logically, this is how it's going to be done. The top two will go up as they have been. So the winners of the Northern Premier Division and the winners of the Southern Premier Division. So those top two, I call it. But the winners of each league will go up as they have been doing. One side will come down from the Championship, but that will leave the Championship a team short. So the suggestion at the moment, although it does have to be voted on, is a second place playoff. Second place in the Northern Premier Division and second place in the Southern Premier Division, putting themselves against each other in a playoff like we used to have with the league winners for that extra promotion spot into the Championship. For this year only, once this expansion of WSL 1 is done and WSL 2 is back at 12 teams, it'll be again just the two league winners in Tier 3 and two down from the Championship. So this is a 1 year only thing, this playoff. Now, that of course will have implications down towards the bottom of Tier 3. So if you imagine that both Tier 3 leagues have 12 sides in them, you lose the one at the top, they both have 11 in them. You then lose one from a playoff. So one has 11, one has 10. You then have one side, that is it, coming down from the Championship next season. Now that could go into the league with 10 teams in it, and then they're both balanced at 11. It could go into the league with 12 teams in it, depending geographically, and then you'd have a 12 and a 10. How do you get around that? Well, the most logical thing would be to have 11th spot in both of those leagues survive next season. So therefore, you would have, best case scenario, both leagues have 12 when you save 11. Worst case scenario, one league has 13, one league has 11, and somebody moves laterally in the Midlands sort of area. You'd be looking at the likes of Real Bedford if they stay in Tier 3, maybe MK Dons if they get back into Tier 3. Rugby can't because they've only had 2 years in the North. They need they've only had the 1 year in the North. They need another season in the North. And all the Birmingham sides, for me, are a bit too close together to kind of want to break that up. So that's going to be an interesting one. But the most logical way of making Tier 3 12 teams each is to save 11th spot. Not confirmed at all. The FA have got to decide what they want to do, but that seems the most logical. And then a lateral movement if they have to. Yes, it's not ideal because that would then leave Tier 4 short. So 2 sides in Tier 4 get offered a reprieve. That then does depend on geography, and teams in Tier 4 like this season don't know where they stand. However, in my view, having 2 leagues knowing exactly what's going on in Tier 3 is still better than having no leagues knowing what's going on if no kind of decision like that is made until much later on in the season. So that's the big news really that's going to affect next season in Tier 3 only, unless of course the FAWNL decide they want to do a second place playoff in each of the Tier 4 kind of brackets, so your North Midlands and your South East, South West, and still have 2 come down from Tier 3. That is a possibility. So we'll see what happens with that. It is actually a great way this time around of testing out these playoffs to see if they work and how they are received. So it might be something the FA has a look at doing. Incidentally, between WSL2 and WSL1, they're having this 2 up from WSL2 this season, and then they are doing 3rd place has a playoff game against the second bottom side in the Super League, and that then is a bit like how they do in the men's game in Scotland when it comes to promotion and relegation. So that is going to continue as well from next season. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes as well, but we will keep our kind of vague eye on that. Obviously, we focus on the FAWNL here on the Women's Football Chat. Right, moving on from that, which kind of vaguely affects the FAWNL, to something which again has not been confirmed and voted off yet, but will have a big impact on the FAWNL Cup and Plate competitions next season, and that is a brand new format for the Cup and Plate. This news came out a few days ago. Again, it's still got to be voted on by the clubs on Monday's AGM. So this is not determined yet, but they want to introduce a group stage to the Cup and Plate competitions with 22 groups of 4 teams, including including 16 PGA sides in the group stage here. So you've got the 72 FAWNL sides and then 16 PGA sides in 22 groups of 4. So one group match would be midweek. That's significant because it means that the groups have all got to be very localized so that they can have these midweek matches. So you can go around the country and kind of put these groups together. For example, Marine Academy Plymouth, Plymouth Argyle, Exeter City, and probably Bridgewater United. So there's a group that doesn't have a PGA side in it. Go further east a little bit, you're probably going to have Moneyfields, Bournemouth Sports, and Southampton under 21s. Go a bit further, I would hazard a guess that Lewis, Worthing, and Brighton under 21s will all be together. You go up to the northeast, Chester Street Town, Durham Sestra, Middlesbrough, Chester Street Town. They're in there. Norton, Stockton Ancients, the other one up in that region. So you can kind of go around and have a rough idea of the teams you're going to be facing. We then go from the group stage into the knockout for the Cup and for the Plate. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more confusing, but the 22 group winners go into the Cup competition, along with the 10 best runners-up, based on, as it normally is, points, goal difference, goals scored, games won, that sort of thing, discipline. So that's how they're going to be ranked. Then into the Plate, the remaining 12 runners-up and the best 20 of 22 third-place sides. What that means is a couple of draws probably gets you through the group. You might even get through the group with one draw. So there is a lot to play for in this. My concern again is that we've got 16 PGA sides going into this competition, and we saw how well they did last time around. You could argue that had they not pulled out a significant number of them, which they did, now to try and stop that, they have upped the fines for next year to £1,000, which is a 400% increase on last season, the fines for pulling out of this competition, which a lot of PGA sides did. So I am concerned that if they all take part and play in all the games, then they could, walk away with one of the competitions. It was very close last year when two of them got to the semi-finals of the plate. So I still don't like it. I still think there's a better way of doing it. It also increases the number of games for somebody to win it from 8 from either 6 or 7, depending on if you were unlucky enough to get drawn in the preliminary round last season. So it's essentially an extra 2 games from those cup games. With those group games being added. So it's 8 games in that, plus 22 league games is 30, plus your FA Cup, plus your County Cup. You're going to be looking at 40 odd games in the season, and less than half of them, half of them being in the league. But it might not happen when clubs vote on it on the AGM on Monday. As soon as we've got information, we will let you know. And that's the 2 big pieces of news from this past week. You've got the changes to the Cup and Plate, and you've got the expansion, which likely results in a playoff. Again, as soon as anything's confirmed, we will let you know either on @WFootballChat on Twitter or at Women's Football Chat over on TikTok. That's kind of your up-to-date live reactions to all of the news. Right. Let's get down then to the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout. We had our preliminary round. We got 72 sides down to 64 with the playing of those 8 ties. And now the remaining 64 sides are all in the draw for this first round. Now, this is coming out later than planned. Everything kind of got away from me yesterday. My plan was, it was quite a good plan. It was all my appointments, lunch, record, edit, barbecue. And what actually happened was all my appointments, lunch, halfway through lunch, get a phone call from work saying, can you do a shift? I said yes. And then I just didn't have time to record or edit this. So it's a day late. So you'll have less than 48 hours to get your votes in for your favourite FAWNL side. Voting closing at 6 p.m. on Sunday. But without further ado, let's get straight down to it. The first round draw of the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout 2025.
Welcome along to the hugely anticipated first round draw for the 2025 Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout Tournament. We have had the preliminary round where 72 teams were whittled down to 64. Of the newly promoted sides that came out in that draw, Ascot United and Kidderminster Harriers, they both make it through to the first round proper, where the 64 remaining FAWNL sides all come out of the hat. Let's remind ourselves of the rules of the Summer Knockout Tournament this year. So there is no regionalisation. Anybody can come up against anybody, and voting happens on at W Football Chat on our X page. Now, what you will be doing, you can see on the screen here, each tie will look like this. So you have the introduction to the tie, and then each team has a voting page. You are voting with likes and with retweets, so you can effectively vote twice for each tie, once with a like and once with a retweet. You are voting for your favourite FAWNL side, whether that be that they are your FAWNL side, or just in each tie, maybe they play in a colour that you like the best, maybe they're playing your rivals, whatever it is, and you will be voting for your favourite, and eventually we will whittle them down to the nation's favourite FAWNL side. Voting closes at 6 p.m. on Sunday, at which point the voting will freeze. Any likes and retweets after that time will not be counted, and then we will have 32 sides remaining, and we will keep whittling them down. So, some significant ball numbers for you in this, the first round draw. Newly promoted side Ascot United, having come through the preliminary round, are ball number 5. Chester Street Town, ball 17. Fulham, ball 24. Halifax, the reigning champions, are ball 26. Kidderminster Harriers, who also came through the preliminary round, ball 31. Luton Town, 37. Marine Academy Plymouth, 39. Then we've got Sheffield, they are 54. The winners from 2 years ago, Wolverhampton Wanderers, are 60. And Wythenshawe are 63, another newly promoted side into the FAWNL this season. So all 64 teams are coming out of the hat in the next half an hour or so. Let's get ourselves straight down to the first round draw of the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout 2025. First team out this evening is number 6. That's Barnsley Women's. Barnsley Women's are ball number 6, and they are the first side out. And they will take on number 54, newly promoted Sheffield. Bit of a local derby, that one, as Barnsley Women's come up against Sheffield. Number 26, reigning champions Halifax. Halifax, the reigning champions, are out as the third ball in this draw. And they take on number 4, AFC Sudbury. Halifax against AFC Sudbury in the first round. Number 51, Queen's Park Rangers. Queen's Park Rangers, number 51. And QPR will take on All the Frees, 33, Leeds United. QPR against Leeds United. Number 13, Chatham Town. Chatham Town, another side which came through the preliminary round draw. And they will take on number 58, that's Watford. 58, Watford are the side Chatham Town are taking on. Number 60, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves, the champions a couple of years ago. And Wolves will take on a newly promoted side in Fulham. Wolves against Fulham in the first round. Next up, number 43, Northampton Town. 43, Northampton Town. And they will take on number 25, Gwalior United. Gwalior United against Northampton Town. Number 14, Cheadle Town Stingers, a side that went so well on the pitch last season, very nearly got into Tier 3 at the first time of asking. And they take on number 16, our inaugural champions, Chesham United. Cheadle Town Stingers against Chesham United. That is sure to be a very mouth-watering tie for the first round. Next out is number 59, West Bromwich Albion. 59, West Bromwich Albion. and they take on fellow Northern Premier Division side Rugby Borough, number 53, Rugby Borough. Number 48, Peterborough United. Peterborough United, number 48. And they face number 19, that's Derby County. Derby County taking on Peterborough United. Number 47, Oxford United. Oxford United next out. And they will face number 12, Cambridge United. It's Oxford against Cambridge in the first round of the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout. Number 50, Portishead Town. Portishead Town, who have been given a reprieve to stay in the FAWNL this season. And they are taking on number 8, Blackburn Rovers, a new side in the FAWNL this season. Blackburn Rovers against Portishead Town. Number 29, Hull City. Hull City, number 29. And they are coming up against number 49, Plymouth Argyle. Plymouth Argyle, new manager down there at Plymouth with Marie Hurahan going down from Stoke. Next out is number 45, that's Norwich City. 45, Norwich City. And Norwich will take on number 17, Chester Street Town. Norwich City against Chester Street Town. Number 3, AFC Bournemouth. AFC Bournemouth, number 3. Was newly promoted into the Southern Premier Division, and they will take on number 35, that's London Bees. 35, London Bees against AFC Bournemouth. Of course, on the pitch means nothing in the Summer Knockout Tournament. Number 32, Leafield Athletic. Leafield Athletic, number 32. And they will face number 46, Notts County. An all Division 1 Midlands tie there as Leafield Athletic take on Notts County. Number 55, Sporting Cowser. Sporting Cowser, number 55. And Sporting Cowser will face number 37, Luton Town, new into Division 1 South East. This season, Luton Town in the FAWNL for the first time. Halfway through the draw then this evening, number 5, Ascot United. Ascot United, if I don't drop the ball. Number 5, Ascot United, did very well in their preliminary round tie. Comfortable win for them. And they will take on number 61, that's Worcester City. Worcester City are a very strong side in the Summer Knockout Tournament normally. Number 18 is Chorley. Chorley, expecting them to do quite well in the tournament this year. And Chorley take on number 27, hashtag United. Hashtag United against Chorley. Number 57 is Sutton Coldfield Town. Sutton Coldfield Town, number 57. And number 40 is Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, number 40. The next ball out, they'll take on Sutton Coldfield Town. Number 1, Abingdon United. Abingdon United, number 1. And they take on number 21, which is Dulwich Hamlet. Dulwich Hamlet against Abingdon United. Number 63, Wythenshawe. Wythenshawe, newly promoted side into the FAWNL. And they will face number 23, that's Exeter City of the Southern Premier Division. Number 44, Norton and Stockton Ancients. 44, Norton and Stockton Ancients. Against number 39, Marine Academy Plymouth. That's probably geographically about as far apart as you could get in the summer knockout tournament. Going from Norton, well, so going from Plymouth down up to Norton. Fortunately for Marine Academy Plymouth, the summer knockout tournament is all online. Number 42, Moneyfields. Moneyfields, number 42. And Moneyfields will take on number 15, that's Cheltenham Town. Moneyfields against Cheltenham Town. Number 2, Actonians. Actonians, number 2, the next team out. And Actonians will face number 20, Doncaster Rovers Bells. Actonians against Donny Bells. And we are now 3/4 of the way through this first round draw. Is your side still waiting to be drawn out? Number 34, Lewis. Lewis, number 34. Against number 7, Billericay Town. Lewis against Billericay Town. Number 28, Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield Town, number 28. And they will take on number 62, Worthing. Huddersfield Town against Worthing. To slightly make sure we've got a good mix of the balls. Number 30, Keynsham Town. Keynsham Town, number 30. and they will take on number 36 Loughborough Lightning. Keynsham Town against Loughborough Lightning. Number 38, Maidenhead United. Maidenhead United, number 38. And they will face number 9, Bournemouth Sports. Bournemouth Sports against Maidenhead United. All Division 1 South West. Number 11 is Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers number 11. And Bristol Rovers will face number 56. That's Stourbridge. Bristol Rovers against Stourbridge. Number 41, Milton Keynes Dons. Milton Keynes Dons, number 41. And they will take on number 52. That's Rail Bedford. Rail Bedford. Ball number 52. And they are coming up against MK Dons. 2 ties to go. Have number 22, Durham Sestra. Durham Sestra, number 22. They are coming up against number 64. That's York City. York City, number 64. And there is 1 tie to go, so hopefully there's only 2 balls left in here. That would seem to be the case, so it doesn't matter which order these come out in, but we'll do this one first. Number 31, that's Kidderminster Harriers. Kidderminster Harriers, number 31. And they are taking on, down here, number 10, Bridgewater United. Bridgewater United, number 10. And that concludes the first round draw with nothing left in the box of the 2025 summer knockout for the women's football chat. Let's go through those ties then for you. We have got Barnsley Women's against Sheffield. Halifax take on AFC Sudbury. Queen's Park Rangers against Leeds United. Chatham Town take on Watford. Wolverhampton Wanderers against Fulham. Northampton Town take on Gwalior United. Cheadletown Stingers against Chesham United. West Bromwich Albion against Rugby Borough. Peterborough United against Derby County. Oxford United against Cambridge United. Portishead Town against Blackburn Rovers. Hull City against Plymouth Argyle. Norwich City against Chester Street Town. AFC Bournemouth take on London Bees. Leafield Athletic against Notts County. Sporting Cowser against Luton Town. Ascot United against Worcester City. Chorley versus #United. Sutton Coldfield Town take on Middlesbrough. Abingdon United against Dulwich Hamlet. Wythenshawe against Exeter City. Norton and Stockton Ancients against Marine Academy Plymouth. Moneyfield take on Cheltenham Town. Actonians against Doncaster Rovers Bells. Lewis against Billericay Town. Huddersfield Town against Worthing. Got Keynsham Town against Loughborough Lightning. Maidenhead United against Bournemouth Sports. Bristol Rovers take on Stourbridge. Milton Keynes Dons against Real Bedford, Durham Sestra against York City, and finally Kidderminster Harriers against Bridgewater United. So those ties will be up on our social at W Football Chat shortly, and voting will be open until 6 p.m. on Sunday evening, at which point the voting will freeze and we will know who is through to round 2. Don't forget, you are voting once with a like and once with a retweet if you want to, so we can get 2 votes per account on at W Football Chat. That is the draw. Get voting for your favourite FAWNL side.
Well, there's some really tasty ties in there, isn't there? You've got the University Derby as Oxford United take on Cambridge United. You've got Barnsley Women's against Sheffield. That should be a good one, a good local rivalry there. Of course, Milton Keynes Dons against Real Bedford. That should be a corker of a tie. So voting open now and is up until 6 p.m. on Sunday, when we will get those 64 sides down to just 32. That will almost do it for this week's episode of the Women's Football Chat. However, we do just have the FAWNL team quiz question to go through as well. Now, I got AI to write last week's, and I don't think it was actually as good. I think it was a bit more obvious. But the clue was financial grounds, ironically, where bills might be scattered. All the words really are in those first 2. Financial grounds is money fields. Money fields was the side for last week's team to guess. And this week I've got a new one for you. I'm going to have to come up with some more after this, because this is the last one I've got so far. A fiery place results in consequences for young boy. A fiery place results in consequences for young boy. I'll put that out on at W Football Chat on Twitter, so do have a go over there and let me know which FAWNL side you think that will be. Yeah, get guessing on that. And this was the Women's Football Chat for the 20th of June. I'll be back next week, hopefully on Thursday, bringing you that second round draw and all of the very latest from the FAWNL. Get voting for your favourite side. It closes 6 p.m. on Sunday. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.